So I was watching a special on John Williams. Yeah, John Williams. I mean, the guy who scored thousands of films, but, you know, a lot of our favorites. And I say our favorites because you must have heard of these films, you know. And if you like the music, and it's partly the big part of why you like these films may be because of John Williams' music. Jurassic Park, E.T., Jaws, Indiana Jones, Star Wars. Yeah. It turns out, though, those are not the only films he's done. I mean, because he's done a bunch, you know. But before he met Steven Spielberg, he had been working on TV and films. Last night I watched Midway with Henry Fonda and Robert Mitchum and Charlton Heston. That's an old movie. Even Pat Morita was in it, you know. I think it was in the 60s, this movie. And I look at the music. Is it music by John Williams? And I'm like, holy crap, this man was just... I mean, he's always been busy, but man... by watching that special, I realized how busy the man has always been, you know. But it was just really cool to find out. Oh, no wonder I love the music, because you know it's one of those old movies that you know the music just carries you, especially in the introduction of the film, you know, where the credits are running. And I was like, you know, it's just like, it sounds like one of those old movies that I used to watch, you know, when I was a kid, you know. And sure enough, that's why, because it was John Williams' music. And it reminded me, well, it made me think, you know, I wonder if he ever had any hecklers or haters, you know, people who just, you know, criticized his work and made him feel insecure. But for the amount of work that he has done, I doubt that he ever listened to the haters or to anybody who wanted to stop him from performing his love for music, you know, or exercising his love for music. Because then I also thinking about Josh Brolin, because, you know, me as an actor, you know, I've been doing this for 20 years, a little bit over 20 years. And, you know, I get insecure sometimes, you know, actually a lot of the times, you know, because I had a lot of haters in my family or friends from the block, or, you know, people that you run into, and they instill doubt into your mind by criticizing you and stuff like that. But then again, listening to Josh Brolin, he was, you know, he also gets insecure. And I was like, wow, he's like the son of an actor. You know, and he's been acting since The Goonies, or even before that, I think. But, you know, I remember him, my first glance of Josh Brolin was in The Goonies. And, you know, I liked him ever since, you know. And I'm like, Thanos gets insecure, too, about his work, you know, his performance, you know. And, again, it's just because you got the haters, you know. And the haters are always going to try to instill doubt into your mind by the criticizing comments that they make, you know. But essentially you have two groups. You have the creators, and then you have the destroyers, you know, the people who make content and the people who just sit in the sidelines because they don't have the balls to create content and put it out there, put their balls out there, basically. That's what I'm trying to say, is that they're, you know, it requires balls for you to put yourself out there in your content, your product, you know, because you got this other side of the equation, the destroyers, the haters, the critics, the people who, again, stand on the sidelines because they don't have the balls to do it, but they're just gonna sit there and just knock what somebody else created. And again, everybody's got the ability to create, but the only reason why these little idiots don't create is because they don't have the balls. Because, again, they listen to their own criticisms, you know. So imagine that they voice them out. That's what they hear in their heads all the time. It's like what Wayne Dyer said that in one of his specials, you know, he did say, you know, you can't get orange juice out of an apple. because it's an apple, right? And again, you can't get love or you can't get anything good out of people who just have criticism inside them, and they have so much of it that they have to voice it out and say it to somebody else. And essentially they do it because that's what they hear in their heads, but they do it because they also feel it's like, well, if I'm not doing it, you're not gonna do it, because then that means you're gonna get ahead of me. You cannot get ahead of me because I'm better than you. Well, how is it that you're better since you're declining, creating anything, and then here are these people who are doing it, and you're gonna sit there and criticize them, Because then I started watching this special on the Beatles, and they, at the end of it, they have it was basically the making of the Let It Be album, and it's not the Get Back one. It's the other is the one after they came out. I think it's called Get Back to Let It Be or something like that. And again, they have the rooftop concert at the end of it. But you see their process. You see how they put the songs together, and of course, you get that Beatle banter. That everybody loves. I love it myself. I could, because they were funny. They were amazing guys. But I noticed that during the concert, again, you had these two groups of people. There were the people that were on one side. There were the people who were like all smiles and really happy. They're like, oh my God, the Beatles are putting on a concert right now. It's right there up there, And, when they focused on the Beatles up at the rooftop, there were people, that came out of the other buildings, and they jumped over and, to that rooftop, and now they're watching the Beatles perform right there, and some of them were like, oh my God, that's them, it's so cool. And other guys especially, were like you could just see the monkeys in their heads, turning those wheels. Just the monkeys in their heads. I just visualize these monkeys moving these wheels. Like, how the hell did they come up with that? Like, again, the hate in them was just so apparent. And me, as one thing you have to know about acting that I've realized is that, or that you learn basically as an actor, is that whatever you're thinking shows in your face. And that's what a lot of guys that I talk to, they forget about it. And not just guys, but girls as well, females as well, But a lot of the times when I'm speaking to guys, they get competitive, And if I'm speaking about my career, their face changes, and I just know what's happening. I can see those monkeys, turning those wheels, inside their brains, because they're hating me at the time. They're hating the fact that I'm doing stuff that they would love to do, but they're not doing it because why? Because they don't have the balls to do it. Okay. In fact, when I first went and got my SAG membership, they gave me this little pin, and when the lady that was handling the meeting said, why did you become a SAG member? And a lot of people were saying, well, it's because I want to work in background and things like that. And she said, you're a liar. You want to be a star, don't you? It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, everybody wants to be a star, but some of them don't become stars because they don't have the balls to do it, or obviously not everybody wants to be an actor, or be in the movies or something like that. But the fact that this person was saying, oh, it's because I want to work in background, it's like, just be honest and just say it. You want to be a movie star, just say it. So that is, again, that self-editing that we do, that is like, oh, okay, well, I could really say what I really want to do, but instead I'm just gonna back it up a little bit and just say that the most humble thing I could think of which is just really fake humility, or repressed humility, or I don't know if the definition applies, but it is a way to self-edit oneself. Why? Because of the critics. You don't want to say something that the critics are going to basically is red meat for the critics. But again, that is one thing that a lot of people don't know, that what you're thinking shows in your face. So check out the footage, of the rooftop concert. Is, to me, is one of the best concerts that the Beatles ever put out, because there were no screams, first of all, so you could hear the music, and they just look so cool up there, with their gear, and the wind blowing, especially through John's hair. It's just I love that part. Ever since I was a kid, I remember that was my favorite part. Seeing them out there doing their thing, and the wind blowing through their hair. Because they just look really cool. While they were doing that. And that rooftop concert is the coolest. But during that, again, you had a lot of people who were just like me, right? Really excited about the prospects of it, or what was happening. And then you had the other half that were just like hating on it. Again, like I said, guys is showing their discontent because there's these other guys who, are making them feel less. And it's not that they're doing it, it's that they're doing it to themselves. Because the inner critic within them, that inner critic that makes them voice out their own criticisms to other people. Think about how much critical dialogue do they have within them that it has to blurt out. It's like word vomit, right? Word vomit, like in the Mean Girls movie, word vomit. That's is their own criticisms that holds them back. And then they sit there and just stew on their criticisms, because they can't believe that these four assholes, they're getting ahead of them. They're doing something that they always wanted to do, but forget it. I don't want to do it now because they already done it. It's so sad. It's such a sad place to be in mind and heart and emotionally and psychologically. Like, what are you doing? Just go out and do what you want to do instead of just listening to the inner critic, right? There was this lady, was just like pale. And again, most people in England are pale because the sun barely shines, right? But this lady looked sickly. You could tell that she never goes outside, but she sure went outside because she had her friend next to her. There were the two ladies. You could tell they were just hating on all these young people. And the camera focuses on this lady again, robe all the way across, all the way up to here and across her neck, and I don't even understand what they're saying. Curlers, glasses. And when you see the footage, you'll spot her. It's just, I was just like, lady, have fun, my God. So again, you have those people who were loving the whole situation because this is creativity at work. This is creativity in action. And those who are creative, those who are creatively inclined or love creativity or love what creativity comes up with, especially the creativity coming out of the Beatles. And then those people who are just hating it. Like, it makes no sense, right? Why would you hate something so cool, right? But anyway, that's my little spiel about it. Don't let the haters stop you from doing what you love. There's a line in the movie Sing that says, don't let fear stop you from doing what you love. If you love it, do it. Don't let the critics stop you. You keep at it. Because again, when aliens come down, and take over, they're gonna look for footage. They're gonna look for things that people made to see what humans do, and they're gonna find your work. They're gonna find your footage. They're gonna find your paintings, your sculptures, your poems. So keep at it. Keep expressing that creativity, because again, it's inspiration. Inspiration. You made that when you were in spirit. That was a product handed down from the divine. People who are creative, people who create things, are funneling divine intelligence, divine magic. We're funneling it through, like we are the vehicles. And you see why some people grow very unhappy, because it is their function as well, but their own criticism stops them from doing it, and then they grow sour and unhappy. And again, it's just there's so much sour unhappiness within them that the word vomit comes out. So just remember, any critic, any hater, any heckler, that's what's happening within them. They have so much of it inside them that it has to come out. So go on and create, because if it makes you happy, it can be bad. You know what I mean?